The purpose of the Global CFO Council is to provide an educational and networking forum for senior financial executives in order to share best practices, discuss current financial issues, and to learn about current topics related to the performance of their jobs.
Good morning, Chris. How are you doing today?
Good morning, Robert. I'm doing great. How about
Thank you.
yourself?
I'm doing great. Thank you, and thank you for doing this. Before we started, I was saying how impressed I am with your woodworking skills. The desk behind you and the board displaying that shovel was created by none other than my guest today. So well done.
Thank you, sir. That's reclaimed wood out of construction projects that they're tossing in the dumpster. Gives me something to do in my spare time.
I was also not only impressed with the skill, but at your desire to save money. Instead of paying someone else to display the shovel, very well done. As an accountant, I respect the hustle.
I was shocked by the cost when researching it for my board members about being able to display those groundbreaking shovels. We are very fortunate within our district that we have a lot of growth and a lot of new construction projects going on and ongoing. So they're very involved in those projects, and I just wanted to give them something to say thank you, show appreciation. But I didn't want to spend $400 for a piece of wood for it to go on, so I figured I'd just grab some scraps, throw it together, and voila, it turned out fairly well.
Well, as you can guess, Chris McIntyre is the CFO and treasurer at a school, at Warren County Public School. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And I looked it up. You've got like 17,000 students, K through 12, and like $200 million budget.
We're a little over 17,000. We've grown on average the last 7 years, 442 kids per year. We continue to see that growth and expect that growth for the next 5 to 10 years minimum. We got last budget was 208 million assumed, and project this next budget will be closer to about 230 million. So it's a growing area. I've got roughly $70 million in construction projects at some phase of construction currently. So anything from wrapping up to just about ready to plan and break ground this coming summer.
Well, Chris, I like to look folks up on the internet during my introduction. Some of this may or may not be true. Chris, I think you went to Western Kentucky University. Is that correct? Undergrad in accounting?
Yes, sir. That is correct.
CPA, CGMA, and a certified school finance officer?
Correct.
And a youth basketball, baseball, soccer coach?
Yes, so I've coached, I've got a 13-year-old that has now progressed to middle school, so I coach travel a little bit, but I've stepped back from coaching, let the middle school and high school coaches take care of that. As an administrator within a school district, I try to stay out of all the politics of sports.
Yeah, my kids are in high school now, but I remember there were a lot of people taking youth sports really seriously. So that was
People take it way too seriously. It's the development time. The kids got to want it more than the parent, and that's what I think a lot of them get backwards. Is the parents tend to want it more than the kids and living pipe dreams through them. But I tell my son all the time, Bubba, I expect you to be involved in two things. Two activities outside of school. I don't care if right now it's baseball and basketball. If you want to change it to something else, he even shows cows. So I support him in doing that. So as long as you're involved and getting stuff done, I appreciate that. I'm not going to allow you to sit at home and play video games and hang out with your buddies all the time.
Amen. Let's get into it, Chris. Question number one. What is your favorite business book and why?
So I have a couple of them, and they're simple books. They're quick reads. I'm not a huge pick up a documentary and read 800 pages. I like the short, quick, to the point type book. So The Way of the Shepherd might be one of my favorites. It's kind of it really emphasizes on leadership and the way you can motivate people, and you have to have some grace in leadership, and you have to be able to push people, not micromanage, but be able to get the most out of people. The other one is The Happiness Advantage. So I am an accountant at heart. I'm more lean toward the pessimistic side of budgeting and projections as opposed to the optimistic side. But I feel like, too, within any success plan, happiness at the end of the day helps push people more. And if you're not happy with yourself, if my employees are not happy with themselves, it's going to have a drag on what we're trying to accomplish within the district. So that's the current book study my team is doing. We have our first meeting this Friday to discuss the first few chapters of The Happiness Advantage. It's a great read. I've read the book. A lot of stuff hits home. I mean, you got to start out your day with a positive mindset. If we get up and read social media and hop right on the newspaper or whatever favorite news channel you have on TV, your day is going to be depressing before you get out of bed.
Yeah, that's so true. Question number 2 is, what is the best advice that you've ever received?
So I spent 9 years in banking. This is my 16th, finishing up my 16th year at the school district. But I was right out of college, first job with the bank, and I'd already worked there for a few years. And the president of the bank had kind of taken me under his wing, and his advice to me was, if I have to ask you to do something a second time, I'll find somebody else to do it. If I ask you to do something before I have time to think about it a second time, you should have it done, complete. So I've always used that as a kind of a drive motivation. I'll tell anybody and everybody, I got a bunch of letters after my name, but I'm not by far the sharpest person in the room, but I do well at bringing the sharpest people to the table to help me make the best decision going forward. And I think that's collectively mankind in and of itself, where the more credit you tend to take and glory, the less you're going to get done.
What about a new tool that you've recently started using, or a habit that you have picked up and found beneficial?
So crazy, and a bunch of my friends have told me that, is yoga and meditation, because I played basketball growing up. I've always had lower back problems, and I've always got a million things up in the air with our size school district and my own things that are running through my office. So managing that stress and managing family life, it allows me to take the pain out of my back, so I can sit at my desk and my sciatic nerve is not wanting me to jump out the window. And B, the meditation part of it helps me start out my day on the right trajectory. So that's the odd tidbits that most people don't know about me.
What is your favorite part of your job?
Favorite part of the job has to be the impact on kids. I love what I do. It's a stressful environment as far as expectations and what we want our kiddos to achieve. However, being able to bring them a new facility, being able to refurbish an existing facility to bring new life into it, and just see the love kids in our community have for that building and the people in that building, it just is second to none. So that's what drives me, is the positive impact on how those who are going to be taking care of me while I'm in a nursing home, hopefully we're educating them better to take better care of me when I get to that area.
What about something personal that you wouldn't mind sharing with the rest of the CFO Council members?
As it relates to?
Yourself. You know, something about yourself that maybe we don't know, other than when you're not doing yoga and meditating and doing woodworking. You got any hobbies or something personal you want to share?
So my wife and I enjoy landscaping. We bought a house 5 years ago and got an acre and a quarter or so, and we've planted 30 trees. I've laid 1,500 brick pavers and planted I lost count on the number of shrubs and different unique things, but we've done it all ourselves. We don't pay anybody to do it. We take the time, and our goal this year is to do a raised garden and get that off and running. So, and my wife's an accountant too, so she works for she does taxes and A-133 governmental audits, nonprofit audits. So her time frame for spring is not real good on work hours either, but that's what we do together to enjoy time.
Did you say 1,300 pavers?
1,300 is what I've put down. I've actually got another 200 sitting waiting for me to find a place for them to go. 1 by 1, 4 by, I think they're 4-inch by 8-inch brick pavers.
Wow. Wow. Awesome job. Have you ever yelled at anyone to stay off the grass and get on the path? That's why I have a path.
No, and the brick pavers are a path. They are outlining the landscaping around the house and around the fence in the backyard. So it was interesting. Last summer during quarantine, we have a kind of like a drainage ditch on the back right of the property that I had put riprap in. Well, I wanted to do landscaping to kind of hide that area. So my 2 boys last summer as part of PE class were given the opportunity to, instead of run and do other exercises, they got to pile rocks, take the rocks that are currently in that area, move them all out of that area. My wife and I landscaped that area, put fabric down, and then they got the opportunity to put the rock back. So it was a growth opportunity for them in 90-degree plus weather. So I mean, it's a life learning lesson. I grew up cutting tobacco and working in various roles on farms to make money. So they don't have as many of those opportunities anymore around here. So, but I feel like working in heat teaches a good lesson.
Yeah, there's nothing like moving rocks back and forth to make you decide that you probably need to get good grades and graduate from high school and maybe college too.
Yep, that's a little bit my indirect motivation there.
Well, question number 6, last question, it happened so fast, is what's something that I should have asked, but I didn't? And then what is your answer to that?
I think I would, but specifically coming from a school district background, I would question the normal perception, or if you talk to school districts in Kentucky, California, wherever they might be, is the funding of school districts. And we always talk about the lack of funding, but communication is a key component. It's easy just to write about it in the paper or say, we're just not funded. But the understanding the numbers behind it, how do you educate those around you, not only board members, but our public and throughout the state, on what that funding does look like and what is your struggle? Because if you walk into Warren County today, you'll be amazed. I mean, our facilities are second to none. Extremely proud of all of our buildings. If you walk into them, they're clean, they're inviting, landscaping's on point. So how do we do it? If I told you that story, gave you those pictures of our buildings, we got 2 net zero schools. We had the first net zero school in the United States. I've got the largest ICF, which is insulated concrete forum project, at one of our middle school, high schools, 334,000 square foot under roof. Our board for decades, way before me and during my time and hopefully after me, has been a leader in those areas. But it's through that you see one lens. But through another lens, I would tell you about another school district that is the lowest revenue per pupil in the state of Kentucky. And you would not think those were one in the same district. Our district, if you look at our local taxes, state revenue, and federal revenue, and you look at that on a per pupil basis, we are the lowest funded school district within the state of Kentucky. So it's how you educate people, because people never want to pay taxes, right? Any more taxes is why you raise my taxes. I get it. I'm a taxpayer too. But to see the whole board and be able to communicate the numbers and have those open, honest communications with people. I do presentations at Kentucky School Board annual association annual meetings where we talk about communication. Most finance officers, most of us accountants, we are great at what we do. We're not the best at communicating and talking about it. So that's where I've tried to, over the years, step out of my comfort zone, get in front of more people, talk to more people. I feel like half the people in Warren County, we got 125,000 or so people, I feel like have my cell phone number, and that's my personal cell phone number, not business phone. But I give it to them. If you got a question or a problem, call me. If I can't answer it, I'll get you to the right person or find out for you and call you back. And I feel like that goes a long way with that trust relationship and helping them understand it's all about kids. We wouldn't be as successful today and wouldn't be growing at the rate we're growing without our schools, be our independent schools district here, our county district, and Western Kentucky University. If those three were not successful, we wouldn't see the hundreds of millions of dollars being invested in our community through growth of industry.
Well done, Chris, and thank you very much for giving back to your community. I think what you do is absolutely critical. You're feeding into the youth and the teachers and the staff and the of the Warren County Public School. You're on the front lines, even more so than ever, and during this time frame that we're in. So thank you for your service and all that you do. And I think what a great takeaway and call to action for all of us as accountants is communication. And we have something we need to be communicating better to our internal and external customers. So that was powerful. And thank you very much for that.
The other thing, I'll highlight one more thing, and this is something I give both my kids, is growth mindset. We challenge kids every day that they have to grow, that they have to learn new things, they have to push themselves. But yet, as adults, we tend to be in our comfort zone and don't like that change and don't like learning new things. So I tell my kids they have an opportunity to hold me accountable. If they don't feel like I'm pushing the envelope and learning new things, trying new things, they need to call me out on it. I've been Google certified. We went to our district, did the largest guaranteed energy savings project in Kentucky, and we went from being the 16th most energy efficient school district in the state to being number one. So we're always pushing. I'm always trying to push my team and myself to learn new things, do new things, and then I can turn around to my kiddo and say, this is what I did today. This is what I'm pushing myself. What'd you do? Mm-hmm. Show me your work. Because if I'm beating you, you're younger, you should have a lot more energy than me. You should be whooping me. So come on. So that's kind of how I lead my team and my kids is kind of one and the same of myself. Is change is good. You just have to get comfortable with it.
Amen. Wow. All right. That was powerful. I'm excited. I'm motivated. Thank you, Chris. It was good to get to meet you and get to talk to you. Thank you very much for this today.
I appreciate it. Thank you for your time. Have a great day.